Coming up on AgweekTV, we're in Sweden for the week for a look at the Vaderstad Ag Equipment Company, their latest technology, and the family that runs it. Solar panels are a growing commodity on Minnesota farms. A North Dakota chef is using locally grown ingredients in her prepared meal business. And a historic barn that used to provide food for Mayo Clinic patients is getting new life as an event center. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. As you can see, this isn't our typical backdrop. This week we're coming to you from Sweden thanks to Vaderstad Ag Equipment. We'll be covering both North American and European agriculture as we tour and take part of the Vaderstad's tour. A big topic at the Vaderstad tours is their farm machinery. In 2012, Vaderstad launched its first Tempo product in Europe. Since then, the line has expanded to 6 different planters. Each model is built with a specific country or region in mind, due to the planter needing to fold a certain way to fit down that specific country's roads or follow their regulations. Like the name would suggest, Vaderstad wanted to keep speed in mind when building these planters, but not sacrifice accuracy when doing so. The company also took a new approach, utilizing positive air pressure when creating the Tempo line.
When for like 10 years ago we launched Tempo, we were the only ones with a positive air pressure, and that was making like a huge leap. We almost doubled the capacity for the farmer, so you can make the double acres in the same time. So that was the success for the machine. But also, as I said earlier, the simplicity of the machine.
Vaderstad says they look to continue to improve and expand their Tempo line. Producers' needs are vastly different in the Midwest compared to Europe. I recently traveled to Verona, North Dakota and took a look at the Tempo K, a new planter that will soon be filling the fields in the upper Midwest.
Across Canada and the US, there's bigger fields and bigger planters, so that's the reason behind this one.
Sawyer Birchhill works for Vaderstad, based in Wahpeton, North Dakota, as a test engineer, and he has worked closely on the Tempo K.
The Tempo K planter is a high-speed, high-capacity planter, 150 bushel seed capacity, 1,500 gallon liquid capacity, capable of going up to 10 miles an hour and faster.
The biggest thing that jumped out at me right away is its wide versatility across many crops at high speeds.
Travis Weeman is the Infinity Ag General Manager in Verona, North Dakota, where they specialize in everything planters. Weeman believes the Tempo K offers impressive information, even at high speeds.
A lot of sensors and things that are telling you information that when you get into a high-speed planter and the things that we're watching, in a lot of scenarios, we are more educated in what is going on with that planter at 10 mile an hour than the average guy is at 3.5 mile an hour. So the ability to see the transparency of what is happening, you as the grower can make the educated decision if you're too fast, not fast enough.
Besides giving growers peace of mind, there is something else that has stuck out to them while using the Tempo K.
Simplicity is a common word that you hear. There's a lot of really neat different takes on the design of the way this is built that is different than what we're used to seeing. A lot of guys are kind of a little leery about it at first, but then all said and done, it's the most common thing I hear is simplicity.
Vaderstad's Tempo K will be on the market starting June 1st. A farm in southeast Minnesota is home to the state's largest community solar developer. In this week's AgWeek cover story, we look at Minnesota's growing solar industry. Farmer Ralph Kaler started Novel Energy Solutions with his son Cliff in 2012. He says it was an effort to increase renewable energy while bringing more value to farmers. In 2021, Minnesota's solar projects generated almost 2 million megawatt hours of electricity. It's worth about $110 million a year, and it's about 4% of the state's total energy demand. Solar arrays cover about 10,000 acres in the state. Minnesota's electric utilities must be 100% carbon-free by 2040. Kaler says solar is a practical long-term energy solution. However, there are concerns about the impact of taking prime farmland out of production. You can read much more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Coming up on AgWeek TV, we'll meet the family behind the Vaderstad brand.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Our expert team is dedicated to creating a customized plan for your future success. Expanding your operation has never been easier with our range of Brock solid bins, grain dryers, conveyors, and more. As your trusted partner, we are committed to serving the needs of farmers. Take the first step toward success and call Gateway Building Systems today.
Spray Advantage is a full-line, full-service dealer with everything you need for fertilizer and chemical applications, like electronics from Microtrack and Raven, pumps by Banjo and John Blue, a full line of poly parts, tanks, and spray tips. We support the equipment we sell with factory-trained service technicians and a well-stocked parts department. It's our commitment to offer you quality products at competitive prices with the best financing options available. Spray Advantage, proudly serving North Dakota and Minnesota.
I like working for NRCS in Minnesota because every day is different. We get to work with a diverse group of farmers and ranchers. I get to work with a lot of unique individuals, different employees within NRCS. We have agronomists, foresters, range conservationists, soil conservation technicians, and we are all dedicated to the job of conservation.
NRCS in Minnesota is a great place
to work.
Power Rich Fertilizer is a leading provider of macro and micronutrient fertilizers customized for you. Our products, including granular and liquid foliars, are designed to enhance your crop's yield and disease resistance. We're here to help you get the most out of your crop with our incredible products. To learn more, call Steve Jerolimic at 701-799-2672. Discover the Power Rich difference. Contact us today.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Welcome back to AgWeek TV from Vaderstad, Sweden. Vaderstad was founded in the 1960s and has stayed in the family ever since. I met with some members of the Stark family, whose parents forged the way to the company's success.
I was 11 when my father started the business here.
Krister Stark's parents began farming at Vaderstad, Sweden in 1948. After some hard years on the farm, they knew something needed to change.
That was a difficult time. Farm was only 30 hectares, so the family couldn't make a living on that farm. The question was critical, and either leave the farm or find something that could reinforce the income of the family.
Krister's father, Rune Stark, began making drag harrows to level the furrows before seeding. They caught the attention of local farmers, and soon Rune was busy building drag harrows in his workshop. Rune would then deliver his completed order to the farmer by using his Ford Falcon, which the family still has today. His product really took off, and his love for their community led him to name the company after it.
I think my father had a vision quite early and he was a very strong believer, and he had the strong conviction that with God's help this should be turning out to something quite substantial.
3 Stark brothers and a sister make up this generation at Vaderstad. Christina Stark says her mother also played an important role in the company, handling the finances, and sometimes she went beyond the call of duty.
When farmers came to us, maybe our father had promised a little bit too much. Machine wasn't ready when he came, and our mother said, well, you come in, you have coffee, you have dinner, you can stay the night actually. And then the machine was ready the next morning.
Christina Stark says the lesson of taking care of customers left a big impression on her. Today, each sibling has a niche in the company, but ultimately, they all work together.
Sometimes you don't exactly agree, But then when you have a common goal in front of you, and that is to do the best possible for farmers, for your customers, then always in the end, you find a solution we all can agree upon.
And Christina says she hopes they can continue helping farmers for generations to come.
Just a part of me, part of our family, part of our history.
The fourth generation is now being born, and both Christer and Christina hope Vaderstad will last for many more generations of Starks. Canola is a popular crop in Sweden, much like it is in North Dakota. North Dakota grows about 85% of the U.S.'s canola crop. Peter Oman took over the family farm 5 years ago. He raises wheat, barley, and canola on about 1,200 acres. Peter planted his canola crop in mid-August last year and had a difficult time getting it planted due to heavy rainfall. But luckily, the crop has turned out to be better than he anticipated. But like any new farmer, he has had to face some trying times.
The whole start has been really good. It's been 4 really good years at the start. The market has been good, especially in the crisis in Europe and with prices. But that also drives us the prices for fertilizers as well. But it's been good, basically. So the last year has been awful. The weather has been terrible. It's been raining for a year, and the market has gone really bad. But it's right about when the weather turned, also the markets turned, it seems to. It feels really good right now. It feels like we could have a good year next year.
Peter predicts he will harvest his canola crop in August. A young South Dakota woman has stepped into the role as the next generation on the family ranch. Ariana Schumacher has more on our latest stop in our Women in Ag series.
Ranching is in Marley Scarborough's blood. She is 26 years old and the 5th generation to return to her family's ranch near Hays, South Dakota. She now raises cattle and crops full-time with her dad.
I just love getting to be a part of agriculture and just everything that we're able to do, just raising food and just taking care of the land and just all of that, and I just enjoy doing it every day.
Scarborough got her first 4-wheeler when she was almost 8 years old, kickstarting her ranching career.
Started helping move cows, and before that I would go ride along with my mom on the 4-wheeler, and so really young. Just I've always been part of it.
After she graduated from high school, the family's hired hand moved, and Scarborough says it was a natural transition for her to step into that new role.
A couple years later, I moved away for a year just to kind of have some other experiences and figure things out, but ultimately I just decided that this is home and this is where I want to be.
Right now, the ranch is in the middle of calving season, just one of the areas where Scarborough takes charge.
Going out every morning and checking for calves and tagging and moving pairs and all of that.
She offers a piece of advice for other women looking to return to their family operations.
You just kind of have to figure out what your role is and figure out what you're comfortable with doing and what really matters to you to do, and you have to be able to just speak up for that.
In Hays, South Dakota, this is Ariana Schumacher for AgWeek.
The Scarborough Ranch has been in the family for more than 100 years. Ahead on AgweekTV, we'll meet a North Dakota chef who uses fresh, locally grown food in her prepared meal business.
AgWeek's Women in Ag series is sponsored by USDA's Natural Resources, Conservation Service of Minnesota, Peterson Farm Seed, Minnesota Farm Bureau, and Minnesota Soybean Research and Promotional Council.
Do you have nutrient deficiency issues? We can help. Let's talk.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
Do you have nutrient deficiency issues? Use AquaYield nanotechnology.
The nanotechnology is able to get in the plant quicker and faster. We apply it a couple different times throughout the year, depending on which crop it is. It's used, like I say, in spring. We use it in furrow with the sugar beets. We apply some of it as a foliar late season in the sugar beet harvest. We apply it as a foliar and as in furrow with the beans too, so it can be used spring, fall, late fall. We've used it all the seasons.
Let's talk. Visit us at EricksonCustomOperations.com.
Attention farmers, increase your revenue and prevent compaction from squeezing your profits with PTG's Central Tire Inflation System, now offered at OK Tire and Service, all controlled from the tips of your fingers, ensuring increased yield and improved fuel economy by adjusting your tire pressure within minutes. You are ensuring the best performance from your tractor on the field and off the field, compatible with any radial tire. Call the OK Tire team today or visit oktireinc.com to learn more.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
You got salty soils? We can help. Let's talk. AgWeek weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
The weather is beautiful here today in Sweden, but how's the weather back in the Midwest? Here's our AgriWeather Outlook.
To the weather portion of Ag Week, I'm meteorologist Jesse Ritko. We are tracking finally a bit more of a pattern break from this soggy stretch we've been in. Not going to say it's going to be completely dry, but a lot drier time, especially as we head into next week. We'll take a look at the summer outlook, as well as some of those summer temperatures returning to the forecast, as well as the outlook for June as far as wildfires are concerned, especially up in Canada, some of that smoke making its way into the Midwest. But it has certainly been a very wet week last week. Take a look at all the rainfall across portions of South Dakota, Minnesota, and North Dakota, all those areas shaded in yellow, showing 2 to 3 inches of rain last week. Spots in Omaha picking up over 4 inches across parts of Iowa from the thunder showers that brought severe weather to Iowa last week, bring anywhere from 3 to 4 plus inches of rainfall there. At least that is the location that does need a little bit of the rain. You can see on the drought monitor as of last week, very dry across Kansas, stretching into Nebraska and into portions of Iowa, stretching into southern Minnesota and into Wisconsin. Still a little abnormally dry across northern North Dakota and Minnesota. However, the recent rains helping a little bit as far as that is concerned. We've also been in a bit of a cool pattern lately. However, that will be changing as we head throughout the rest of the holiday weekend. The cool air kind of sticks on top of North Dakota, Minnesota, and into the Great Lakes Basin. As we get into next week, however, we'll start to see a nice little ridge building, especially off to the west. That's going to bring heat, a lot of temperatures in the 90s, even hundreds closer to the Vegas area. We'll be seeing that ridge make its way farther up to the north and into Canada, into portions of Manitoba by the middle of the week, and that will bring temperatures back into the 70s across the Dakotas, even some 80s, as that warm air continues to sink around and stick around for a good chunk of the end of next week. The areas across the Ohio River Valley will be stuck in the cool weather, a little chance for some slightly more wet weather across the Ohio River Valley as well. That does coordinate as well with the Climate Prediction Center. You can see the below average temperatures across there. Warmer temperatures off to the west. As far as rainfall precipitation goes, pretty close to average. Here's a look at the summer outlook, though. With the exception of the upper Midwest, basically everyone looks to be above average. This just means we have equal chances around North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota of being at or above average or below average as well. As far as the precipitation looks like for the entire summer, the Climate Prediction Center forecasting below average precipitation across South Dakota, stretching down all the way into portions of the desert Southwest. And of course, with this dry precipitation forecast, that will only add insult to injury for the wildfire potential across most of the northern and western sections of Canada, looking at a good chance to see above average fire action up there. And so that could mean a slightly smokier June, especially around our neck of the woods.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
Dig, lay, and bury drain tile all in one pass with the Crary Tile Pro Plow. The Crary Tile Pro Plow lays tile up to 7 feet deep with boot sizes of 4 to 12 inches. Advantages of installing drain tile to your field provides increased overall yield, improved soil moisture levels, and controls soil erosion. It pays to tile with a Crary Tile Pro. To locate a dealer near you, visit www.crarytilepro.com.
I like working for NRCS in Minnesota because every day is different. We get to work with a diverse group of farmers and ranchers. I get to work with a lot of unique individuals, different employees within NRCS. We have agronomists, foresters, range conservationists, soil conservation technicians, and we are all dedicated to the job of conservation.
NRCS in Minnesota is a great place
to work.
The simplicity, I mean, it's a complicated planter, but it's also simple. That row meter is just very simple and it just seems to work. I like that just having that tube delivering the seed with an airstream and not having to have extra belts on it or extra electric motors and stuff. A lot of this machinery seems like it's almost getting overly complicated. The simpler that it can work, but do what it's supposed to do, I think this machine can definitely do that.
Attention farmers, increase your revenue and prevent compaction from squeezing your profits with PTG's Central Tire Inflation System, now offered at OK Tire and Service. All controlled from the tips of your fingers, ensuring increased yield and improved fuel economy by adjusting your tire pressure within minutes. You are ensuring the best performance from your tractor on the field and off the field, compatible with any radial tire. Call the OK Tire team today or visit oktireinc.com to learn more.
A Grand Forks, North Dakota woman has come up with a unique business. As Rose Dunn reports, Heather Schneider is using locally grown food in her ready-to-eat meal subscription business.
Well, I grew up in a family of food people.
Heather Schneider grew up with 5 younger brothers, and early on she decided she'd rather be cooking than part of the cleanup crew. And her love of cooking has never lost its steam.
I just knew in my gut that food was my thing.
Schneider's interest in professional cooking took root when she worked in a restaurant in California. When she landed back home in Grand Forks, she had a young family and was looking for a food business without restaurant hours. So she hit on a meal subscription service, leaning heavily on healthy, fresh, local food.
I didn't have a farm background, but farming was everywhere.
Schneider says she has enjoyed connecting with farmers and ranchers from across the state as she sources her ingredients.
Of course, I started out with just local farmers, but I started hosting a podcast called Common Ground North Dakota, and I've met so many farmers through that, like edible bean producers and lentil producers, but also through this Rural Leadership North Dakota program that I'm doing, I have met incredible producers.
Brianna Susky has been buying weekly Joyful Food shares from Heather for several years. She says she appreciates being able to pick up fresh, healthy food that's ready to eat.
I know Chef Heather visits the farmers market every weekend in the summer, and I know she has relationships with a lot of the local growers. So I love how she puts that in the meals each week.
In Grand Forks, this is Rose Dunn for AgWeek.
Schneider rents the kitchen at the First Presbyterian Church to prepare her meals, then distributes them to her husband's family business, Dakota TV and Appliance. Still ahead on AgweekTV, an old barn that used to provide food for Mayo patients is getting new life.
You got salty soils? We can help. Let's talk.
Dig, lay, and bury drain tile all in one pass with the Crary Tile Pro Plow. The Crary Tile Pro Plow lays tile up to 7 feet deep with boot sizes of 4 to 12 inches. Advantages of installing drain tile to your field provides increased overall yield, improved soil moisture levels, and controls soil erosion. It pays to tile with a Crary Tile Pro. To locate a dealer near you, visit www.crarytilepro.com.
Do you have salty fields? Try calcine.
We've been putting it on some of our worst spots, and every year you see more bushels, greener crop, healthier crop. Some land down by the river that almost had to take out of production. We've been able to use calcine and bring it back to equal to the rest of the fields. Calcine mixes with basically anything. We put it down with our starter fertilizer. We've mixed it with herbicides. We've applied it broadcast. We've applied it banded. So it's worked in pretty much any capacity, and there's no volatility issues. So it's very easy to use product.
Let's talk. Visit us at EricksonCustomOperations.com.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, free single healthcare, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Our expert team is dedicated to creating a customized plan for your future success. Expanding your operation has never been easier with our range of Brock solid bins, grain dryers, conveyors, and more. As your trusted partner, we are committed to serving the needs of farmers. Take the first step toward success and call Gateway Building Systems today.
Do you have nutrient deficiency issues? We can help. Let's talk.
A barn that provided food for hospital patients a century ago may be getting new life hosting events. In the early days of the St. Mary's Hospital in Rochester, Minnesota, Mary Knoll was a 200-plus acre farm owned by the Sisters of St. Francis. For 50 years, the farm contributed fresh eggs, dairy products, vegetables, and meat to help heal patients. The farm was also used by Mayo Clinic doctors, nurses, and dietitians to develop and teach the latest farming and healthy food practices. Mary Knoll's farm acreage was sold in 1969. Rochester native Joe Adamson bought it in 2019 to preserve this piece of history.
We were pretty much a cutting edge in technology for the ag business, improving how the dairy cows produced milk, some of the sanitary practices, pasteurization and such like that. Looking back at it, you realize that there's a lot of technology that Rochester had that was really cool for agriculture.
Adamson says he hopes to have the permits in place to start hosting public events in the barn in about 6 months. Stories you'll only see on AgWeek.com and in AgWeek magazine this week. U.S. Senator Tina Smith is part of an effort to start a student loan forgiveness program for beginning farmers and ranchers, as well as women, veteran, and minority farmers. And organic sales in the largest cooperative of organic farmers in the nation grew last year. We appreciate you watching AgWeek TV from Vaderstad, Sweden, and thank you to Vaderstad for hosting us. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.